Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sumukascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha. Lambodharasya Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha. Dhrumaketurganadhyakshaha Balachandro Gajananaha. Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam. Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. Yasyat Virada Vaktradhya Parishadhya Parassatam. Vignam Vignanti Sadatam Vishwaksenam Tamasraye. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sachidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Aklishtakarine. Namo Vedanta Vedyaya Gurave Buddhisakshine. Krishna Svaipayanam Vyasam Sarva Bhuta Hiteratam. Vedabhya Bhaskaram Vande Samadhi Nilayam Munim. Sahasramurte Purushottamasya Sahasra Netranana Padabaho. Sahasranamnam Stavanam Prachastam Nirudhyate Jannacharadi Shantayai. Om. Now, with Bhagavan's grace, let us continue where we left off. I think we covered 14 namas. We came up to Bhagavan, okay. Bhutatma Paramatma cha Muktanam Paramagatihi Avyaya Purushas Sakshi Kshetragnokshara Evacha. At that we came up to Purushaha. Avyayaha Purushaha. We covered up to that point. Correct? Yes. Okay. Next is Sakshi. Bhutatma Paramatma cha Muktanam Paramagatihi Avyaya Purushas Sakshi Kshetragnokshara Evacha. Okay. Now, Sakshi, we all know what it means. We don't have to go through that. Bhagavan, we personally, this Vishnu Sahasranamam last night again, with Bhagavan's grace, I was feeling we are so fortunate. We don't know, I'm telling you, honestly, we don't know how blessed we are to be able to go through each of these names. And every one can be taken in depth and literally you can get immersed in it. It is so powerful, it's incredibly powerful. And let us be very grateful to Bhagavan for not only making this happen, giving us the inclination, giving us the opportunity, the ability to come and partake on this. It's always grace. We must always we must make it very personal. It's a very personal thing. It is not in a book compiled by Sankara and Parasara Bhattar. No, it is not like that. It is not like where the Vyasa wrote this and Bhishma was talking. No, it is very personal. The same Bhagavan is within us. So when you say Sakshi, and personally we all know there is a witness, that's all. We all know, right? It doesn't matter how much, as we say in Tamil, Vesham, that we put for the outside world. All the show that we may do, the smile we may have, the way we may dress up well, drive in a Mercedes Benz, but doesn't matter really. Or whatever you do is irrelevant. Personally, there is somebody who's always watching, witness, right? And that witness is nothing but prema. Really nothing but prema. It is Sri Prema only. Prema eva is what Taittiriya Upanishad says. God is love, live in God is what Avatar Purusham himself says, so that we can understand all the scriptures in a very simple manner. Right? So that is always witnessing, always, right? And that is Sakshi, very much within us. We are part of it, actually. It is not part of us. We are part of it. Right? So please remember that. It is not separate from us. This is the mistake we make. So there is a witness and I am doing everything. So the witness is witnessing and I am doing all the... No. I am doing all the thing as part and parcel of that witness, which remains untouched. Please do the paradigm shift. Make sense? So Shankara says, Shankara Bhagavad Padal says, one who looks at, in Tamil it's written very beautifully, right? One who witnesses everything directly, instantly, immediately, not even immediately, simultaneously, all the time. Okay, immediately means something has to happen and something happens immediately after that. No, it's not like that. It is there all the time. So it is simultaneously all the time, in all places, directly. Very important. So that is why when you get a chance with Bhagavan's grace to have Bhagavan's darshan and talk to him, you cannot lie. Impossible. So that part, all of us have to face this. When we leave this body, it's going to be a truth, nothing but truth. So because he knows everything, right? And as Krishna says, not only he knows, he remembers everything. This is the problem. So anyway, so that's directly one who is witnessing. Now Parasara Bhattar says, this is the beauty. You got to enjoy both as I mentioned last time, both the Visishtaadvaitic way of looking at things and Advaitic way of looking at things, and also in the truthful way of looking at things. Okay, please remember, when we say Visishtaadvaitam, I've applied my intelligence to it. Immediately I've limited it. Correct? Something that is limitless. So, Advaitam, even the moment I say Advaitam, itself, that word itself limits it. So it is beyond all that. Okay? But we can enjoy it, experience. So this Bhagavan, who not only witnesses and all the things we enjoy in life, one is witnessing, and he is not only giving us things that make us happy, he himself becomes happy in that process. That witness, this is the beauty. Why? You can say in a clinical manner that the witness remains untouched. Okay, immediately he becomes distant from me. But when that untouched entity, that prema is embracing me in all that, and when I am happy, the prema is also very happy, and because it knows that I am happy because of something, it gives me more of it. And that is also Sakshi. That's the beauty of Parasara Bhattar's explanation here. The Swami says, bliss is my food. Please remember that. The reason love can be just neutral and doing nothing, but the reason it has created all of us to give love and receive love. In that process, there is tremendous happiness. That bliss is Bhagavan's food. So the witness also enjoys. Because his bhaktas enjoy. When bhakta is happy, Bhagavan is very happy. Right? That is another the description or explanation that Parasara Bhattar gives. So Purushat Sakshi Kshetrajñokshara Evacha Kshetrajñaha Aksharaha Evacha. It's a very beautiful. Shankara Bhagavad Padal explained this, is that we all should bow our head and take it, partake what he says. Now Kshetrajñaha. Now immediately when you say Kshetram, you're thinking of two things. Everybody in mind. One is our bodies are Kshetram and embodiment is Kshetram. That is one way. To those of us who are intellectually inclined, that's the first meaning that comes to our mind. Who are devotionally inclined, right? And the moment you hear the name Rama, immediately tears start coming down your eyes like Hanuman's does. If we have that thing, then I would not be thinking of embodiment. I will be thinking of a place where Bhagavan is. Both, that is also Kshetram. Okay? Or some of us think Kasi and Rameswaram. That is all intellectual thing, right? But we have to get out of that. Because Bhagavan is everywhere. Where you want him to be, he is there. We are going to see that. Very soon it's coming. Okay, this is the beauty. So, Kshetram. You understand how the meaning is now? What went through your mind the moment you heard Kshetram? You think. That will tell you what your samskaram is, what your as Bhagavan says, what is our dominant tendency with which I left my previous body? I am born with that dominant tendency. Right? It's easy that every night you go to bed. Whatever dominant thought you have when you go to bed is what you will wake up with. Okay? And this was also an experiment that was done by Shirdi Sai Baba, one of his devotees. We were talking about it, this guy says, and we were talking about Rama, and then go to bed. And next morning we were thinking of Rama. So that happens. Right? So our births are no different from that. So think in your mind, when you heard the word Kshetrajna, okay, what went in your mind? First meaning. Okay, that is your dominant tendency. So how you want to be? Do I want to be devoted? Devotion is the best way. So what should I think? Kshetram is everywhere Bhagavan is. Now where is Bhagavan? Next question you have to ask. Okay, Bhagavan is everywhere. No, that doesn't touch me. Okay, when I say Bhagavan is everywhere, I am excluding myself from that everywhere intellectually. Right? That's our normal tendency. No, Bhagavan is within me, in my heart. Where is He? It's love. So when you do that, that becomes Kshetram. Now, the Bhagavan who knows this, I don't know that, but He knows it. Because He knows that is Kshetrajna. That Jna is important, Jnanam. Right? That when you add the word Jna, that becomes one who knows, whatever precedes that. That is the Sankara Bhagavad explanation. Okay? And he says in a very intellectual manner only, he says, Kshetram enappadum sarirangale. That means all the embodiments that are called Kshetra, one who knows that is Kshetrajna, is what Sankara Bhagavad says. And you can take it very personally, more personally, and say, and Parasara Bhattar says, where Bhagavan is present. See, finally we all trying to reach home. But where is home? Right? That place and is Kshetram. And Kshetrajna is the one who knows that all my devotees, all my bhaktas want to come to this place only, and then He grants them that place. That is Kshetrajna. You have to know something in order to tell that to somebody. Isn't it? You have to have something in order to give. Right? So that is Kshetra, is what he says. So it is, we put it in a personal basis. Everybody, every creature, every being wants to be loved. There is no exception to that. Okay? Now, every disease, every illness, every worry can be cured with love. Because love is the most powerful. But it is kind of, you can say, latent, silent witnessing. But it also knows that this person who is suffering, while it is present within me, and this is the place you want to come to. So it makes me, the moment you start sharing the love you have, opening the pathway to the action of Bhagavan within you, the manifestation of Bhagavan, because Bhagavan doesn't act, manifestation of Bhagavan within you, automatically it takes you closer to that final place. And it knows that's where your final peace, happiness, Slokam, Saukhyam, everything is. It knows that. That is Kshetrajna. Okay? Now, Aksharaha. Okay? Kshayam means to decline. Okay? Akshayam, Aksharaha means not declining. Permanent, eternal, always, Purnam. It does now. What does it apply to? It applies only to Prema. That is Purnam Adaha, Purnam Idam, that Upanishad Vakyam we all have heard. It is not a theoretical statement that somebody made and we are repeating. No, that is the truth. You have to approach it as Swami Dayananda, I learned from him. You cannot shape the teaching to your understanding. You have to shape your understanding to the teaching. This is very important. So when you say Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, no point in just reciting it. What does it say? Right? It is full. That means full means really full. That is, you take something out of it, nothing happens to it. You add something to it, nothing. This is important. We have to think now from quantitative understanding. We always try to understand things in our life, to go to qualitative. Okay? So, because qualitatively you cannot add to love. It's always full. You cannot decrease from it. You cannot multiply it. You cannot divide it. It just expands. That's all it does. That's why it's Brahman. It expands. That is its nature. Right? So, Aksharaha, never declining, never decreasing, never getting destructed or destroyed. Right? Now, the Sankara Bhashyam continues, Eva Cha. That word Eva Cha, that is not a name. It's an explanation. That Kshetrajnaha Aksharaha Eva Cha. Eva, only. Cha, and. What is this and only? What does this mean? The moment you say and, there are two things. Isn't it? Eva means only. So what he's saying is, Kshetrajna, the indweller within me, this fountain of love within me, is also and only indestructible. It never decreases. Aksharaha. The Jivatma, Paramatma, all these things that we put the words and try to get confused on that, if you're putting on those slides, they are one and the same. The indweller and the indestructible entity are one only. Okay? Do you understand? So, next time you think of Jivatma and Paramatma, don't get confused. The moment I read something, I struggle with it for a long time. So, Jivatma, when does it reach Paramatma? Is Paramatma somewhere to be reached? These are all, then your mind plays all the tricks. Right? These are all sometimes good to hear, and then you talk about it, and people come and nicely give discourses. At the end of the day, if you really sit in a corner and say, what did I learn from there that brought me clarity? If you did not get clarity, don't go there. Why waste your time? Simple. Right? Remember, Jivatma, Paramatma, whatever name I give it, is one only, one and the same. Kshetrajnaha Aksharaha. The love within me is eternal, indestructible. It is full. It's a Akshaya Patram, we say. That is what it is. Whatever you take, it never decreases. And one drop of it, to give an example of what this means, which I learned from Swami, that clarified things for me tremendously. We all have gone to the beach, right? Right. We all know ocean or sea has got salt water. Okay. Now, if I take one drop of that ocean, that water from the sea, and taste it, or I take a glass full of that water and drink it, is it any difference in the taste? All I need is the same taste is there, present in full, regardless of the so-called quantitative measurement, isn't it? Love is like that. There is no difference between each one of us loving each other and spontaneously. Spontaneously, that's what Bhagavan never delays. He never postpones. Okay, the Bhagavan never postpones anything, and everything in its right time, spontaneously, without obstructing anything. When I share my love with somebody, it doesn't matter who it is. That is full. That's like the drop from the ocean. So you don't have to drink the whole ocean. You just become part. Then the drop is part of the ocean, isn't it? There's no difference. And that's what we become. That is what mukti and knowledge, everything is about. So, what Parasara Bhattar says in Aksharaha, so if that is the case, then the beauty, remember, both our teachers are talking about the same thing. They are giving their experiences of how they, because nobody can describe Bhagavan. As Jia said, mentioned to you, through Tripada Purushan, he says, even you yourself cannot understand you, the way he is talking about. So let's not try to understand Bhagavan, you must experience him. So the moment you experience something, that experience is always full. Even a touch of Bhagavan's lotus feet is full. There is nothing more or less. But the moment you start describing it, impossible. Understand, right? Because words are limited. How can you describe an experience? You have to go and experience it, isn't it? So keep that in mind when Sankara Bhagavad explains something and Parasara Bhattar explains something. They are explaining the experiences like the Vedan experience explains, which is never impossible to capture it, right? Even though it's so beautiful it is. Remember, the expressions that you get are only limited description of a limitless experience. So in that sense, Parasara Bhattar makes it personally. When we talk of Krishna Bhagavan's Leela, for example, right? And even though you may have heard the story of how Krishna was born, okay, or what happens to Parikshit, okay, any Krishna story that you think of, you know the story. You know the story of Sundaragandam, right? We all know that. But it's not like a new novel we are reading. We know what's in the next chapter. We know what's going to happen. We know what the end is. Still, there is a sweetness when you go through it. And the sweetness only increases. The more you read it, the more you hear it, the sweetness only becomes more and more. It is not becoming boring. That is Akshara. Endless. You understand? Without decline. So Bhagavan's nature is such that when you hear his glories and stories, the more you hear it, the more sweet it becomes. Right? Without declining. That is what Parasara Bhattar explained on a personal basis. Eva cha. Okay, Putatma Paramatma cha Muktanam Paramagatihi Avyaya Purushastakshi Kshetrajnokshara Eva cha Yogo Yoga Vidam Neta Pradhana Purusheswaraha Narasimha Vapustriman Keshava Purushottamaha. Okay? Yogaha Yoga Vidam Neta Pradhana Purusheswaraha. Pradhana Purusha Iswaraha. Okay? Pradhana Purusheswaraha. Narasimha Vapuhu. Sriman Keshavaha Purushottamaha. Purusha Uttamaha. Okay? Now, Yogaha. Now, the moment we say yoga, several things come to our mind, right? We have to understand, this is the beauty of Sanskrit language, once you enter it through the etymology aspect of it, each aksharam, each sabdam has got a meaning. Okay? This is the way the Sanskritam is constructed. That's why it is so precise. Right? Yogaha, the moment we say yogaha, we think of so many things, right? That's karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, and all the confusions we go through. Right? This is better than that. That is all. These are all nonsense. But seriously, okay? There are infinite pathways, and they're one and the same. Actually, one and the same. Really, no different. Now, the final goal that you achieve, where the drop falls in the ocean. And now don't think, please, physical now. When I say drop, you're thinking of a drop and do that. No, think of the quality in that drop, right? Which is that saltness, salty taste, right? And that falls in the ocean and becomes one with that same salty quality of the water there. That becomes one with it. No difference. That is yoga. When the love I have, which I'm limiting it, when I expand and I merge with the ocean of love itself, that is yogam. Right? The process of doing that, the pathway that you undertake is also called yogaha. Right? The final goal as well as the pathway. And the one who is engaged in this process of becoming one with himself, right? One with the self. The one who is engaged in that, removing all the noises around, right? And it's like an artist, who came there, a sculptor, takes a piece of stone and starts hitting out pieces of stones, and he removes the parts, and then all of a sudden you have a beautiful Balaji Vigraham there, smiling at you. But that is just a stone. He removed all the things that didn't belong there. Like that, if I remove all the things that don't belong to me, then I'm with myself. That process of doing that is also yoga. Okay, yoga is both the pathway and the goal. And to put it in another way, personally, I am not only thinking, I am convinced, right, the way I am thinking today, that I am separate from Bhagavan. Right? I go and fall in front of a picture, do so many things, and doing Archana. Everything, my mental attitude is, I kept Bhagavan separate from me. This feeling of separation is what's causing all the trouble. And this is the game that's being played. The only way to remove the feeling of separation is to share the love I have. There is no other way. Doesn't matter how much you read. Right? Now, once the feeling of separation goes away, right, what happened? What is left? Nothing. Shirdi Baba says, why don't you just remove this thin wheel that you have put between you and me, he says, to the devotee. Swami, it is not up to me to remove it. You have to remove it. Right? And that's where the surrender and Charanagati and all comes in. So this, with the feeling of separation, then I think the Jivatma is present here and Paramatma is somewhere else. Right? Sankara Bhagavad Badal says, this Jivatma and Paramatma becoming one is yogam. That's the way. So I try to explain it in different ways. Parasara Bhattar says, beautifully. Now going back to that thin wheel of cloth, right? Talking about. He says, yes, Jivatma, Paramatma, all, but yes, they have to become one. But he is also the cause of it, which means he is the one who can make it happen. That is yogam. So, understand? Yoga, okay? Yoga vidam, yoga with. See, the yoga vidam, neta, it says. Neta means a leader, a protector, a master. And what does a master, a leader do? A good leader actually cares for and takes care of all the people under his leadership more than their own mothers will care for them. This is very important. That's what a true leader is. So Neta, Bhagavan is our leader because he cares and takes care of us. Okay, that's why he is more than 1,000. The Divine Mother is much, much more than even 1,000 mothers. You cannot enjoy that kind of love. Absolutely selfless love. True well-wisher is Bhagavan only. Mother wishes well for the children, but that is tinged with selfishness. Right? Bhagavan, no selfishness. Just pure well-wisher. He knows. So that Neta, Yoga Vidam, these people who have, this is so beautiful. So, the people who have undertaken the journey to grab the lotus feet, embrace it and not let go and want to get back home, those yogis, we call them, right? That's the word used, yogis. Now, in their journey, somebody has to take care of them, right? And what does it mean? Suppose, say, this is the beauty of the process of yoga. When you take one step towards Bhagavan, he takes 100 steps towards you. If I want to purify my thought, I want to give up my anger, personally, give up my jealousy, whatever, I want to remove it. I take one sincere step towards controlling my anger, I guarantee you, see what happens. You will succeed because Bhagavan has taken 100 steps towards you. You will succeed. Next time the anger comes over you, just recite Bhagavan's name. Swami, I don't want to be angry. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say, I have to do this, go drink a glass of water. No, forget all those. Just, so I don't want to be angry, Swami. You take care of it. See what happens. That anger will go away. Right? Now, the fact that you control that anger, that moment, has made you that much stronger. That strength that you gained is never lost. You may not be 100% strong. Next time you may get angry. That is a different story. But the fact you became stronger, you will never lose it. Who's protecting you from losing it? That is Yogavitam Neta. The progress you make in the process of merging with Bhagavan, as you take one step and take a detour and take 2 steps backwards, or whatever you do, whatever progress you make, He protects it. He guides you. And next time you start from where you left off. And there is not only that, there is no opposite effect. If you sincerely want to control anger, you will not get the opposite effect of getting more angry. Impossible. Who is protecting you that? Who is giving you that protection, taking care of you, of yoga with? So, I'm giving you a very simple example. Okay, same thing can be true as you have achieved different powers in the yoga path. Those are all protected. Even though you may fall down, some people use it for selfish reasons. They all fall down. Yoga Bhrishta, as Bhagavad Gita calls them, right? Swami calls them. But when they start back on their journey, they start where they left off. This is the beauty. Okay, that protection, Yoga Vitam, that's a true leader, a well-wisher. Okay, understand? So Yoga Vitam Neta Pradhana Purusheswaraha. Now, Yoga Vidam Neta Pradhana Purusheswaraha. Narasimha Vapaku Sriman Kesava Purushottama. Okay. Now, Pradhana Purusheswaraha. Pradhanam Purusha Iswaram. We talked about that. What is happening here? There's a thing called Prakriti, right? We call it nature, right? Made of so many things, that we enjoy so much, right? All the things, all this play going on. Prakriti, that is created by Bhagavan, right? And we use the word Maya, illusion. We know, each one of us know that this is not permanent. It is not going to be with me. I'm not going to be with it all the time. But still we want to hold on to it all the time. That desire not to let go, right? We all want to live forever. Nobody wants to die and go back to the lotus feet, right? What happens after I'm gone? Who's going to take care of my children? So many things we go through as if I'm holding on to something permanent. That you see the irony, the tamasha that goes on here. One part of me knows it is impossible. One part of me knows it is temporary. For sure, it knows that. You cannot deny it. But another part wants to hold on to it permanently. So what we call this? Right? This tamasha that goes on, we call it Maya, delusion, so many things. The moment you heard the word Maya, I go to sleep. I mean, it is such a boring word to me. I'm sorry. It really puts me to sleep. But it doesn't mean anything to me. I rather look at Bhagavan. Okay? Now, this Pradhana Purusheswaraha, what it really means, the one who is the master of this game, both that illusion and the desire that you want to hold on to it permanently, that is also Bhagavan. And the one playing hide and seek, that's also Bhagavan. So he is the Isa, Pradhana Purusheswaraha. So Shankara Bhagavad says, to me, as well as all this Maya that I'm involved in, so both, he is the master. Putting in a simple way. Parasara Bhattar says, then, same thing, with a little bit more description he gives, like we're all bound by this Maya, but it's all bound not randomly, not chaotically, as Chinmayananda said long time in Toronto. I'll never forget that in one of the discourses. The universe, the world is not chaos, it is cosmos, he said. So everything has got bound by a rule. It moves not a dot this way or that way. But the one who is controlling both the Maya and my existence in it, this tamasha, this whole play we talked about, that is Pradhana Purusheswaraha. Do you understand? Not only me, don't think immediately, please. We have to expand our heart and think beyond us. Please, very important. It includes every creature there is. The Purusha not only means our human body, it's the embodiment of everything. Please remember that. The Isvaraha and Pradhana, the Maya, the Prakriti and all that. Okay? Pradhana Purusheswaraha. Narasimha Vapuhu. Vapuhu means body. Okay? Narasimha, you know. Sankara Bhagavad says, this body that manifested itself had the lakshanam, the characteristics of a human body and the characteristics of a lion. Simple. Narasimha Vapuhu. Now, Parasara Bhattar, we can go into that much more depth, because when I say Narasimha Vapuhu, I'm picturing different things in my mind. But for the sake of time, I'm going to pass all that. Now, Parasara Bhattar says Narasimha Avataram. Then he says something which I very humbly, with great respect to him, very respectfully disagree. Because he says, Bhagavan, in order to remove the fear of his bhakta, he appeared in this form. That's what he says. And I don't think so. But Prahlada was never afraid. He was never afraid. We all know that. He was always immersed in Bhagavan. Wherever he looked, he saw only Narayana. Everywhere. So his only language was Narayana. Right? Everywhere. There was no difference. He didn't see a stone, he didn't see a snake, he didn't see a mountain, nothing. Everywhere he didn't see his father. Everywhere he saw, it was only Narayana to him. And I have to prove that also, to emphasize this important teaching. After the salvation of Hiranyakasipu, when Bhagavan is sitting there, we call it Rudra Narasimhan, these words we use. The moment you say Rudra, he becomes Rudra. The moment you say Santam, he becomes Santam. It's what I want him to be, he shows that way. That is another characteristic of Bhagavan. Okay, that will come. Okay. Everybody else is afraid, including Brahma, Indra and everybody. And they tell Prahlada, please go and tell Narayana to reduce his anger. We can't stand this. We are so afraid. We can't even get anywhere near. So when Prahlada approaches him, first question Bhagavan asks him is, Kanna, are you afraid? Are you not afraid? He says. Not are you afraid. So he says, no Swami, I see only the form of love. Nothing but prema. That's all I see. I am not afraid. But please, remove this anger, because these people are all afraid of you. Is what he says. This is given in Bhagavatam, you can verify. Now, so Bhagavan himself says, why did I come as Narasimha Avataram? And that's what I wanted to share with you. That will be much more educational. Okay, we are here. I'm not here to talk about Parasara Bhattar and his explanation, but more see what Bhagavan is. You see, this is so true of Bhagavan. This, to take it as an education, if you ever decide to emulate Prahlada at any point in time, either this birth or some other birth, whenever that thought comes, oh, I must be a bhakta like him, if that thought comes, then what happens? Swami says, because in order to prove the truth in the statement of my bhakta, then I manifested in that pillar. Ego is everywhere. The answer was what? Is he present in the pillar? Yes, he is present in the pillar. That was the answer by Prahlada gave. Immediately Bhagavan manifested himself there. Now if you said, no, he's present in this, then he'll present somewhere else. If I have that same amount of bhakti, we all know in the depth of our heart, beyond our intelligence, beyond the tricks our mind plays, we all know that I don't need a book to tell me this, I don't need any lecturer to give me this. Internally, each one of us knows this witness that is always present, wherever I go, right? Whatever I do. That present is everywhere. So I know Bhagavan is present within me. He is present right here. But I don't, if I say he is present here, he is not manifesting. Why? I don't have the same bhakti as Prahlada had. Full, unadulterated, 100% devotion. Exclusively only for Bhagavan. I want other things. So long as I want other things, Bhagavan will stay back. The moment I want him only 100%, he will manifest and do everything I want him to do. That's all simple message. So Narasimha Vapuhu. Okay? You understand? So stream on is a beautiful word. See, this is very often used in Vaishnava Sampradaya. Okay? But understand the meaning of that stream on. Okay? It applies not to every, it applies, it's an appellation for Bhagavan. Okay? Please understand it. Okay? What does it mean? Okay? See, we cannot give ourselves titles. That's the wrong thing. We should stop doing that, honestly. Okay? These are all Bhagavan's namas, right? And if you ever say Sriman Prahlada, think for a minute. Okay? Think for a second. Sriman Dhruva, we say that. See, let us be really grateful to Bhagavan for all that he has given and conduct ourselves according to the way he wants us to conduct ourselves. That's the way to please him. Right? We have to please Bhagavan. He's the one we have to please. The moment I really please Bhagavan, I please the Bhagavan in everyone. Simple. If I please I can do the reverse process also. If I please the Bhagavan in everyone, I please Bhagavan. There's no difference. Right? Now, Sriman is such a beautiful word. The first one, as you would expect from Sankara Bhashyam, is more on an intellectual basis. The moment I operate on the parameters of Advaitam, which is what the truth is, Ekam Sat, there's no question about that. The moment I call it as Advaitam, no two, and then try to explain everything on that basis, if I don't follow the pathway of prema, it's very difficult to explain it. Sankara Bhashyam approaches it intellectually. Okay? And what does he say? As you'd expect, Sriman means one who has Sri in his heart. Putting it in English, Hridayam. We have gone through this several times. So many times we have gone through this explanation. Laya Sadakam, Swami Desikan talks about this also. So, it is not, and the Navratri we are going through right now is no different from that. The Lakshmi part of it, the Sri part of it, this is, let me take a couple of minutes and go through that. Very important to understand. Tripura Sundari, all the words we have heard. Okay, Tripura Sundari. Three. Puram is place of residence, right? Okay, Sundari, beautiful. Putting in it. Where does it become beautiful? Simple. The Lakshmi, the Sri as we call it, immediately don't think only money. All the resources that we have, okay, that's all Sri. Please remember that, including the food we have, the ability to speak, everything is Sri only. Though that wealth is present in Hridayam. Hridayam means Hridaya, to be shared, not to be accumulated and put in a bank account, so to speak. It must be shared. Okay, that is Sri. Okay, Hridayam. Right? Now, the other one is, so with all the resources that we have, the other one is we have, so that the idea of sharing, where does it come from? It must come from my mind. The thought must be pure. The thought becomes pure when I share everything I have, my ability, my skills, my time, my resources for the benefit of others. So if I do that, who will take care of me? The question comes. Bhagavan will take care of you. This is what he says. He has promised, he has done this many times. You do my job, I'll take care of you. His job is to share, take care of others, right? Be an instrument in Bhagavan's hands. Thinking, okay, thought, that is Sri. Now, speech, right? That is the Shakti, that is Saraswati, we all know that. And the Durga we talk about is the Kriya Shakti, which is all the actions we do with our body. So these three, thought, word and action, when they are pure and aligned together, it becomes Tripura Sundari. That is the meaning of Navaratri. Okay? So now, that is what he beautifully says. Sriman, Shankara Bhagavad explanation we have gone through. Now what does Parasara Bhattar say? See, when Tripura Sundari, the moment you say that, what appears in your mind? We have got a nice picture we have drawn, some artist has drawn, and we put it in a frame and we worship it. Is the picture beautiful or not? Because why did the artist paint it so beautiful? Tripura Sundari, something so beautiful. What is beautiful? Only purity is beautiful. So Sriman means that Parasara Bhattar says extremely beautiful, highly effulgent. Effulgent. Right? It comes immediately, think of Sriman, immediately you can't think of darkness. It is effulgent. It is effulgent in beauty. Right? And now it is so beautiful and so effulgent, it attracts your mind because it appeals to your heart. Do you understand? That is the meaning of Sriman. That and Mangala Vigraham. These are all things that we can do. So that is Sriman. When you say Sriman, Narayana, can you ever picture Narayana as ugly and repulsive? Impossible. The Sriman Narayana, immediately it is Saundaryam, so beautiful, attracts, and then we talk about Prasanna Vadanam, and so did you see the Darshanam, the curtain opens, we all look at enjoy, because that is Sriman. Do you understand? That is the meaning of Sriman. Now, please, the appellation for, but Rishis are given this name to capture Bhagavan's beauty. So remember that. So Sriman. Now, Narasimha Vapuku Sriman. Kesavaha. Such a beautiful name. Kesavaha. There are three meanings given for that. Okay. First meaning is this one who conquered this Rakshasa called Keshi. Okay. Who is this Rakshasa called Keshi? That's another story. We'll do. It is all within personal. Remember, Bhagavan, don't keep Bhagavan outside you. The same Sriman is within me. If I do the Trikarana Suddhi, if I think the right thought and speak according to what I think and do the action same way, but the thought has to be pure. Cannot hurt anybody. This is the sadhana we have to do. The moment I develop Trikarana Suddhi, how do you think I will look? How do you think Paramacharya look even now when you think of him? Attractive. That is Sriman. Isn't it? It's not a physical beauty. It is a tejas. Something that appeals to your heart. So that Trikarana Suddhi is personal. Sriman is personal. Please remember that. Same way, Kesavaha is also personal. So Kesi, the Rakshasa who was conquered, Kesi means what? It's a various the demonic tendencies. When we talk of each one of us personally, it is not one, it is three. It is the demonic tendencies in me, it is the human tendencies, and also the divine tendencies. All the three are within me. This is the beauty. If I behave like a demon, even though I may have a human form, I am only a Rakshasa, like the way Ravana was. Right? We have to be careful. But I must behave like a human, not like a demon. Then I must elevate to a divine quality itself. Right? That is why we have taken birth. Now, these demonic qualities, anger, jealousy, desire, so many things, we know all the 6 enemies we have, they are all forms of Kesi. One who has conquered that is Kesava. And how can you conquer them? Only through prema. Nothing else. That's the only tool. So Bhagavan is love only. Right? That is Kesava. Now, when we think of Krishna and even Rama or even Bhagavan Swami, you think they have beautiful hair. Their hair is something that is really, really beautiful. It defies description. I mean, I've tried many times to enjoy it. Every time you begin to enjoy it, really a limitless ocean. And we all know, we have read in Bhagavatam all the stories, how Krishna's lock comes in. Even a small child, the hair goes in a circle and dances around your forehead and all those things, right? So Kesavaha is one who's got that kind of hair. So beautiful, lots of hair. Keshi means hair. Okay? That's another meaning. But those are all fine. But what is the real, well, these are, you can't say real, because these are also real meanings. It depends on how you enjoy Bhagavan. Right? Nothing wrong. If you enjoy him that way, that's beautiful. Okay? Same Bhagavan is present there. Now, when Keshavaha also means Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. How is that? The Kesava. K is Ka plus A. Isa. Right? Now, Ka denotes Brahma, the aspect of creation within me. Don't put Bhagavan outside. Within me, there is an aspect of creation. I am creating so many things every minute continuously. If I can stop that creation, I attain mukti. To stop the creation, I must give up my desires. That's another story, right? Or hold on to Bhagavan's lotus feet. Only he can stop that. Now, so Ka is that aspect of creation. A denotes Vishnu, the protective aspect. Something is created, I immediately want to protect it. If I make some money, I want to protect it. I don't want to give it away. I mean, whatever it is, I want to protect my health. There is a protecting tendency there within me, right? Whatever it is you see, okay, there is a protective tendency is there. So that is Bhagavan present within me. Now, there is also the Shiva aspect, the Isha aspect there, the dissolution, right? So we also know, but within me, physically speaking, cells grow and cells also die. And if I'm undertaking sadhana and some bad thoughts come, I want to dissolve it, right? At the lotus feet, I want to hold on to this. So there is plus I make the selection process, what is good, what is bad, and what is not good for me, what is not beneficial, I want to give it up. That tendency to dissolve and remove things that are not necessary, that are not beneficial, that is also present. Okay. So the same thing is present within me. We understand all the three aspects. It is not something outside. Now, Keshava, the reason that Kesavaya Namaha, we always begin, first thing we always, Kesavaya Namaha, then only comes Narayana Namaha, okay? When it is such a beautiful name, I was fascinated, and you introduced, got a glance of this phenomenal beauty of this name when I was reading Gita Vahini for the first time, a number of years ago. What happens, and this is something I want to share with you, that's why I brought this book, is in Bhagavad Gita, we know. Bhagavad Gita is something that's happening today in each one of our life. We all have the same question, like Arjuna had. What is the right thing for me to do? Please tell me, Swami. But he says, Shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. We don't do that. Right? Please take me as your student. I surrender to you. You teach me. We just do everything superficially. Go. That's why Bhagavan's teaching is not, I'm not hearing it. Bhagavan's teaching is there all the time. I'm not hearing it. Right? But if I, for a second, if I turn myself to, and tune myself, like tuning a radio dial to Bhagavan's teaching, then I will get his message. Same message he gave to Arjuna, he will give me also. Here, when many questions come, confusion is right at the beginning itself. He says, don't worry, this is all temporary and all those things. Now we take this for granted, but the explanation was given so beautifully. But Arjuna is listening attentively. When you have an attentive student, nothing gives more pleasure to the teacher than an attentive student. When you have a committed student, nothing gives more pleasure. But he will teach you all the things he knows. And if you have a student with tremendous humility, with Vinayam, oh my God, the teacher is the most lucky. I'm telling you seriously. And so these are all qualities Arjuna had. So make Krishna very happy. And then he's asking the right questions. As he understood, he always challenged also. He didn't take anything for granted. This is the thing. Swami, you say so, it must be true. No, how is it? Doesn't make sense to me. Explain this. You told me that time. Now you're telling me something opposite. You're confusing me. That's what he'll say. So, in that process, one of the first questions is asked Krishna, when Krishna tells him, listen, these are all temporary. put your mind, see there is something, this Atma is there with you, that hold on to this, and all those things it describes. Then, what is the right question from an attentive student should be? The moment you say Atma, most of us don't even understand, we take it and go away. But Arjuna did not. Okay, fine. Now tell me somebody who has achieved this, who has got this Atma, was always established in the Atma. Describe him to me. How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he look like? First question from Arjuna comes. And in that question, what he does, he uses the word. I'm going to first read that to you. Okay. I think it is important. He says, Sthita Prajnasya Ka Bhasha. Describe that description. Samadhistasya Keshava. He uses the word Keshava there. Understand? So when he says Keshava, you address him. Swami becomes so happy. It seems Krishna smiled at that time because he knew that Arjuna had understood who he really is. He is the Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva all put together. With Bhagavan's grace, he understood. Then that's the way. So the Keshava is a beautiful name. Next time you hear the word, lose yourself in that. Just Keshavaya Namaha. Immediately you must go somewhere else. Okay? That Keshavaya Namaha. That Keshava. Okay? Narasimha Vapuhu stream on Keshavaha Purushottamaha. Purusha Uttamaha. Bhagavan himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Swami says, when he talks about all this, they call me as Purushottama, he says. Himself. That's how he says. He doesn't say, I am Purushottama. Bhagavan never says, I am this. Okay? He only says, I am you. He says, you and I are the same. That's what he says. He never says, I am this, I am that. I am Keshava, I am Narayana. You never hear them speak this. Anywhere you will see. Because it is not, they are just prema. They doesn't have to say anything. It cannot be captured in any word. The experience is what it is, right? So, but he said, I am also called as Purushottama. As Rama told Sabari, he introduces Lakshmana, this is my brother Lakshmana. For him, he doesn't say, I am Rama. I am known as Rama. Beautifully, you got to enjoy all these things. That when Bhagavan speaks, you must listen 100% attentiveness because every nuance is a gem. Okay. So now Purushottama, there are 4 types of Purushas. Okay. Adama, like Uttama, Madama, Adama, Adamar. Okay. There are 4 types. Each one of us belongs to one of these characteristics. Sometimes here, sometimes there, but dominantly one part. Uttamar, Madhyamar, okay. Adamar, Adamar. Everything is Bhagavan only, okay. Everything is same Bhagavan Samsam. But how you conduct yourself, we get classified. Uttamar, okay. Simple, one who spends his life, one who lives, serves others over his own benefit. Have you ever seen one instance when Bhagavan was selfish? In all the Avataram stories, we read Bhagavatam, we read so many things, Ramayanam, as one item, just think, tell me, because I have not seen anything. Bhagavan always lives for others, sacrifices his own body. We'll go through the difficulties that Rama and Krishna went through, you will cry. So much difficulty, not a single complaint. Right? Remember that, for the benefit of others. Uttamar, Madamar, one who is selfish and after taking care of his, needs, then, might be, and the Tirulur says, after taking care of my needs, maybe a little bit I'll give you. That kind of, still that feeling is there of sharing something. Adamar, only me and me. Nothing else. Okay? Adamar, not only me and me, I'll also destroy the others, destructive. Right? Bhagavan says, This Adamar, even God cannot help him. That's jokingly he mentioned to one. I suppose, I hope it was a joke, but I cannot be sure. But so Adamar, many births you have to take in order to reform yourself. That is one way. Uttamar, the Purusha Uttamar, one who is even beyond all this, one way to look at. Then what Parasara Bhattar described, Sankara Bhashyam, Purusha, that means one who is supreme, who is the best among all the Purushas, and I gave you 4 types of Purushas, right? Now, one who is beyond all this, you can picture that. And what is that? That is Prema. The same Prema is present in everyone. That guy is like a dark thing, completely closed, locked, and 3 keys thrown away. For Adamar, Uttamar opens the door, expands the heart. But same Prema is present, right? Remember that. Now, in the same way, the moment I want to do that, suppose say now, I want to improve myself and I want to become a better person, right? And what does being a better person mean? That's the first lesson I learned from Swami. It is not important to be great. It's very important to be good. You must be a good person rather than be, oh my God, that was an eye-opener for me in my life. So, being a good person is very important. And so, in that process, what do? Then you become devoted or whatever process you undertake, service, right? And whatever way you want to become better, then you really become devoted to Bhagavan. Whether you call yourself a devotee or not, when you start taking human activities and divine activities, automatically you become a bhakta. Okay? Doesn't matter what people call you or what you call yourself. Okay? You become a devotee. That's called a bhakta. Now, when I achieve mukti, right? Finally one with Bhagavan, this is called a mukta. Then at that point in Vaishnava Sampradayam, one explanation they give so that intellectually you can understand. Okay, don't go too much into it because you have to experience it, right? It's Nitya Suri is a word that you would have heard in Vaishnava Sampradaya. Okay, there will be a picture and all these people will be standing there, right? But that is all symbolic. What it means is that once I put my mind to Bhagavan's lotus feet as Tyagaraja was, right? And finally I lose my sense of separation from him, what happens? Become one with him. Become eternal. Right? Nitya. It is Nitya Suri is not, there is, before I lose the final stage of feeling of separation, that ego is there, that is the Nitya Suri. Once you become one, no difference. The one who's even supreme beyond all these is Purushottama. This is what Parasara Bhattar says. Okay? Yoga vidam neta pradhana purushesvarah narasimhavatu Sriman Kesava Purushottamah Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om